Today's video was sponsored by Milanote. Time to embarrass myself once more on the internet. After turning myself into Gru and Benny B. Benson in Photoshop, I got a ton of comments saying I should do SpongeBob next. So that is exactly what we're gonna do today, along with Patrick and Mr. Krabs. So I suppose let's get into it. For all these, I first need some pictures of myself, so I took some. These are by far the dumbest photos I've taken, but let's open up Photoshop and get straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Photoshop. Here is Patrick, and this is the photo I'm gonna be using for his face. And first, I guess we have to make the shape of his head, sort of. And as usual, liquify is the answer for that, so let's kind of rearrange my forehead. This is going to look absolutely fabulous, I can already tell. I do have to make sure these eyes are being covered up by the original eyes. There you go. This is truly going to be the most uncanny shit you've ever seen. This is already pretty much spot on. Let me just make a basic shape so I can put all of this stuff inside of it. Oh god, what am I doing? Let's kind of hide the eyebrows. We don't need those just yet. And then now let's kind of cut out my eyes and see if we can put those on here somehow. The trick here really is to find the right balance between me and Patrick, because the Gru one I did was kind of just too much Gru. You could barely even tell it was me. For this one, I really just want to make sure there's still some human features in there. So let me just try and see if that works. It is probably going to make the end result just 20 times worse, but that's kind of the point anyway. Then hide Patrick, and let's kind of see if we can fade this out into the surrounding skin. Here you go. That is absolutely beautiful. And the second one, same kind of thing here. And this has to kind of be cut off, I guess. Oh my god. Oh, this is a disaster. I guess we need to do the same exact thing for my mouth. And once again, let's try to sort of match the position, not entirely, but just a little bit. And then once again, we shall paint that over my face. Oh, that is horrendous. The mustache makes it so much worse too. Now, for his tummy, I thought this lovely chap could help us out. We just kind of have to make it fit, but then we should be good, because this is a pretty damn good image. Would it not be glorious though to have this guy's nipples on there, to just have that extra bit of humanity in there? Yes, that is happening. See, just like this. I mean, that is just that. Oh, that's... Oh. I mean, that is vile. I absolutely love it. Now, to make Patrick's arms, I literally just took photos of my arms. This is the dumbest shit ever. What? Let me just cut these out and put them on there. And this is just some warp again, I guess. In fact, let me just line this up perfectly, and then we should be good to go. Let me just add some very subtle shadows to maybe make it look a little bit more realistic. Now, we should probably also make this a little bit more pink-ish, like so. And then after that, we just need his swim trunks, and we're good. I'm also gonna make the eyes a little bit more blue, like this. Yeah, oh, lovely. Now, I was thinking these could work pretty well for his swimwear. So, well, you know the drill. Let's kind of try and match the shape over here. Remove all the stuff we don't need. And for his legs, I'll just use those arms again, because why not? There you go. Instantly done. Sometimes laziness pays off just beautifully. These, however, do have to be lime green, kind of, like that. Just like his. Beautiful. And then just a few more shadows and some shading, and then we're done. I think then it is pretty much done, actually. Unfortunately. And some highlights on the sides over here. Ooh, and of course, there's the flowers, the pattern on there, so we do need to put those. Here you go. Now, to really finish this off, let's add a nice background, which, to be fair, makes it so much worse. A little bit of a shadow underneath him, maybe, to at least somewhat put him in there. Or should we use, like, an actual image like this? It's maybe a bit, makes more sense. Shadows again. And there you go. I mean, that is just lovely. I mean, I have peaked. I have peaked. This is what it's come down to. I present me as Patrick. Now, as you might have heard me say before, I'm kind of selective with the type of brands I collaborate with. I want to make sure they're in line with what I do and are beneficial to both me and you guys, my audience. Now, today's video is sponsored by Milanote, which is an online organizing tool for your creative project. This is helpful for literally any type of project, whether you're making a documentary, working on some cover art for a new song, or even planning stuff like an event. The possibilities are endless. Let me just show you an example right here. As you might know, I have a series on this channel where I make these kind of movie posters of myself myself. Milanote in that case would be the perfect tool to kind of organize your project. For example, as you can see here, I created a board especially for a potential video in this series, a science fiction theme this time. I created a bunch of little cards and thingies. If we zoom in here, for example, this is a little checklist I can use to make sure I don't forget stuff. Once you've done them, you can just tick them off like so. It's actually super handy. You can embed stuff like videos, you can make just lists, whatever you want. You can put all these images in here and just kind of slide them around. You can point stuff to other elements like so. It's great. You can add entire scripts like this and even create boards within boards, like for example, the theme over here, the science fiction theme. I just put some random stuff in here that reminds me or that I associate with the theme to kind of get an idea of what it is I'm looking for, the vibe I'm looking for. You can put colors in, just some text, some pictures, whatever. And the same goes for this. I just collected some science fiction posters to kind of take inspiration from. This actually makes it so organized. I absolutely love it. So honestly, great stuff. No matter what type of creative field you're in, Milanote makes it much easier for you because there's loads of templates you can use as well. And what's also very convenient is how easy it is to share these boards with friends, colleagues, clients, to show them what you're up to and work in real time together. I'm kind of impressed with it, especially how user-friendly it is. It is so easy to use. Now, if this sounds like something for you, don't hesitate. Get a free account today via the link down below in the description. Then big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Now back to it. For Mr. Krabs, I also took a just magnificent photo. I mean, look at the resemblance. It's identical. I suggest we begin with the base of his head. And for that, I'm going to use my forehead because that's the largest surface of skin that I have to work with. So it'll just have to do. We'll just paint the exact same kind of shape with it. Then we remove this mask so we can we can use my mouth. Oh. Now, my mouth is definitely a bit different, but we're good. It's fine, whatever. We'll just kind of warp this in place and see what it's gonna look like. Oy, 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 oy. Why do I feel like this one's gonna be so much worse than Patrick? But once again, we need to make sure there's a nice balance between me and Mr. Krabs. So this mouth definitely can't be too modified, otherwise it's just gonna be weird. Then over here we have these eye holes, which we also need. So let's just kind of paint something like that. But then also this nose somehow has to become that nose. And I don't see how any amount of liquify is going to make that work, but we'll try it anyway. First off, I mean, I suppose we can make it just nice and long like that. We just have to be a little bit creative with it. Here you go. And the moment of truth. Oh, that is going to need quite some work. Definitely some shadows over here. Yeah, that is kind of mid, but whatever. Now the eyes are gonna be the biggest challenge. I think for this one, I'm just gonna use the iris and then make the rest of the eye manually because there's just not enough eye white to use. So here we go. I'm gonna use this one in there and then the same exact thing on the other side. Then for the eyes themselves, I'll just create some shapes real quick. And then for these eyelids kind of things, we'll just use my forehead again. Just like so. It's kind of relaxing actually, just doing these shadows, making demonic stuff in Photoshop. And then most importantly, these eyes themselves need some proper shadowing like this. And for some very subtle texture, I will actually use my forehead once again. Otherwise, I feel like it's just a bit too clean. Here you go. Just really subtle little something. And these have to end in these eye sockets, and then that is looking absolutely terrible. It is at these moments where I question my own existence. Now that his head is relatively complete, apart from the color, we do need the rest of his body. So this shirt, I think, could work pretty well. Starting with this thing over here. Really just gonna warp the actual hell out of it. There you go. Same story for the rest of his torso. I'm pretty much just doing the same stuff again, over and over. What a fun little video. These do turn out to be absolute masterpieces though, so it's definitely worth it. Now his particular shirt has to be light blue, kind of like this, I would say. We also want to have the arms on here, of course. Very nice. And then you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, the exact same thing again for the pants. This is all starting to look so questionable. I'm really curious how this one's gonna turn out. His pants are actually rather purple-ish, it seems. A bit more purple than his shirt. Kind of like that. Do gotta make sure the light is consistent, so let's add some very subtle highlights. on all these sides over here. Then next, a very important step. We need to make sure this guy is red because Mr. Krabs is red as hell. So let's just kind of paint over all of this. Then finally, ladies and gentlemen, for his claws, I have this claw. So I'll just simply liquefy this in place real quick. Remove all the stuff we don't need. And then also we have to make his little arm over here. But that once again is just using some shadows, nothing special. And some shadows again, ladies and gentlemen. The shadows underneath him to really put him out there. And then Mr. Krabs is pretty much finished. Wait, no, he isn't. He still needs the belt, of course, guys. We're gonna make short work of this. Should be easy. And these metal parts on Mr. Krabs are gold, so we need that as well. And there, that is beautiful. You already know we're gonna need a badass camera raw filter, and then it's actually finished then, finally. Would you look at that? Oh boy. Okay, on to the next one. Quick little thing, if you didn't know yet, you can now get access to some of my PSD files to learn from or just kind of mess around with. The link is down below, so if you're interested, make sure to check it out. Then now on to the next one, which is SpongeBob. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into it. For this one, I'm not using my own skin. I'm using an actual sponge because, well, I mean, come on. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a square one that had these kind of large holes in it, so this will have to do. And as you expected, the steps are basically the exact same again. Just using some liquify. And let's kind of add that 3D edge over here. And then for the face, we've got this monstrosity. Let us begin with the eyes, I guess. Oh, but this dude... This is gonna be a true disaster. Thing is, he has like complete eyeballs and I have all that stuff around it as well, like the eyelids and everything. So it's gonna look so incredibly cursed. Let's go and try the second one as well. And the way they overlap here too, like that is, what is that? This is going to look incredible. We're just gonna have to try to match the yellow of my skin with the sponge. And just kind of paint all around the eyelids. I honestly regret just making this video in the first place. But you guys did request this, so technically it's your fault. We also want to have some more blueness in these eyes, I think. That's always very nice. And well, that is looking absolutely... Yes. Then for the nose, let me just kind of grab this. And again, some liquify. This is honestly quite tedious at this point, but it is what it is. Let me just stretch this all the way here. Just like that. And then we're gonna need the same yellow kind of color again. And then we just fade it out because we only need the nose part. And then a little bit of shadowing going on here. And that is then looking absolutely pure. And then this right here, this is gonna be the highlight, the mouth. This is really gonna give it some shape. Okay, here we go. I don't even want to know what this is gonna look like, especially this upper lip. That is just really nice and pointy. And the front teeth, they're not gonna be lined up perfectly, but I do want to make them nice and big. I'm guessing something like, why these teeth so pointy? Then we erase all the unnecessary bits. Shall I keep the lips kind of pink as well? I feel like that's just... Oh. This is the stuff of nightmares right here. The fact that I have so many teeth compared to SpongeBob is also just so incredibly uncanny. That makes it so much worse, which is exactly why I'm keeping it. Then for those arms, I took some shots of my arms. Here you go. We just have to mask those out very quickly. Here you go. There's the first one. Flip it and put it in place. Just kind of doesn't have to be the exact same spot, but and this one is gonna be a bit different. Let's just kind of cut it off like this. These sleeves over here do have to be nice and white, and the arms are gonna be yellow. It's beautiful. I've been looking at it for 5 hours now. Now the rest is of course just a shirt and some pants and some legs and shoes. I've done that twice already today, meaning I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly. Let me just put this pants in place nicely along the edge, and then all of this we don't need. Then we want to make that brown like this. Absolutely perfect. And for the shirt, it's basically the same thing again. So well, here we are. Some very simple shoes in here as well. And then for the legs, we're obviously just gonna use my arms because we're lazy. But to be fair, this could have just as easily been my actual legs, because look at that. That it's amazing. Finally, the socks with the stripes, and then we should be absolutely golden. Now, if we put in the original background again, as you can see, that pretty much matches already. We just need that subtle shadow underneath, and then we're done. I'll smack the same camera raw filter on it we used previously, and there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is me as SpongeBob. Absolutely fire. It's always a good time doing these character transformations. If you have any ideas for the next episode, make sure to let me know down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out my note in the description down below. And then I guess for today, that is pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future upload, and then I hope I'll see you in my next video.